And I'm getting a little, okay, we're live. Hello, Mike McCurdy. How are you?
All right. How are you doing this evening?
I am good. We're here celebrating your 1,000 subscribers. How does it feel to make 1,000?
It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those feelings. You kind of watch it. When you first start out YouTube, you kind of watch those numbers. And then after a while, you kind of go, I don't need to watch the numbers. And then as you get closer to 1,000, you start watching the numbers again. So we just hit 1,000 today, and that was extremely exciting. I wasn't expecting that so soon. So really excited.
That is so cool. I'm I'm very happy for you and very jealous. So that's really good. I'm very
Yeah.
glad. I've watched almost all of your videos, I think. I think I've lacked a couple of them, and your you guys work really hard on what you do,
Oh,
and this is well deserved. Very
oh, well,
professional
thanks.
videos.
I've seen your comments on a lot of the videos. I was
Yeah.
looking for the YouTube channel. I saw these little comments. You're like, yay, yay! So it's just nice to see that and the support on it. Obviously, I know YouTubers. We kind of have a little community amongst ourselves. It's just kind of
Yes.
nice to get that support because who else better to experience this with than other YouTubers?
Yes, and I think that that's so true that we understand each other better
Yeah,
than
pain.
non-YouTubers.
Well, what people don't realize is that the difference between TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. You can kind of post anything and it can go viral really quickly. But YouTube's a different beast. You actually got to put out decent content and for people to watch. And I think you've seen that too. And I know I look back on my first videos and they're horrible. And I heard one person say, "Hey, Mike, do you want to delete these?" I'm like, no, they're kind of like yeah, they're kind of like represents who I was, 2 years
Yes.
ago. So I'm not going to delete them, but it's a great way to remind me where I've come from and how much effort we put into these YouTube videos.
It's like a rite of passage kind of thing, huh? That
Yes, exactly.
you have to have some that are unwatchable.
Yes, you kind of cringe, but it's kind of like a vlog of your life too, because it's a time of my life I remember because I was doing these right at the beginning of COVID, but COVID hadn't been out yet. No one knew what it was, and I started like right at 2019, and as we started getting into 2020, the COVID came in there, so you can kind of see my experience with COVID all during that time too, and it's just interesting to watch the difference in how people were and are.
That is interesting. Yeah. That's, I didn't realize that you had started so much earlier than that.
Yeah. It's been about 2 years, and like I said, the first year I worked on the YouTube channel, I didn't put a lot of effort into it. Like I said, we actually have a media company, and I was focusing a lot of my energies in the media company itself, and I knew a little bit about YouTube. Of course, I watched it, but I didn't know all the ins and outs of YouTube. So as I sat around, kind of read up on things, I realized I really need to be putting this into more. I need to put more effort into this,
Mhm.
and probably 2020 to in middle of 2020, I started putting a lot more effort into this because of COVID. Didn't have as much to do, so I put a lot of effort into it, and I just fell in love with it.
So you guys mainly do, real estate photography? That's where what you started in?
Yeah, we started out in the Houston area. We started doing like landscape photography, and we got involved with some of the large landscape developers. And they started buying our photos, and then we had realtors say, "Hey, do you do real estate photography?" And we started doing it, and we've been doing this now for 6 years. Lands are basically real estate photography, and of course now we're doing videography and other things as well. So it's been a crazy ride, and all time trying to keep the YouTube channel going as well.
That's fun. I was in real estate in, Las Cruces, New Mexico, and so I've tried to photograph houses. It's not easy. It is not easy.
Yeah,
There's some, like, all the time, there's these really great things that you just can't get the right feel of the, photograph for,
yeah.
like, and I think video
And you
is
could be
easier.
surprised how many people will actually come out and they'll be like, "I can do it with my cell phone." And then we show them the photos side by side with the cell phone, and it's like, no, you really can't."
Yeah, a
So it
little
does
different.
interior photography is a different animal than just
Mhm.
taking photos. So I think we've shown that, and it's been great for us.
That's really cool. That's fun. It's fun to see in different houses and different structures and stuff. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and Houston's a very unique town. We're kind of I don't know if you know a lot about Houston, but it's got a lot of I want to call them villages. We have villages all around Houston, and everybody's architecture is so different in different aspects of the city. So as you go around, you may go back to like a home that was built in the 1910s, and you'll go inside and it's still there, standing there with the original glass and everything on it. And you realize, families have lived here since 1910. And it's just cool things like that. And then you come out into the suburb areas and you get these new modern, beautiful glass houses and such. So it's a very unique city in that respect, especially in the architecture.
Totally different energy, huh?
Yeah, yeah, really
Yeah,
is.
that's cool. Well, we've got David and Kathy Hyde, or Dave and Kathy Hyde, and they say that we're happy we're here. We're visiting Texas in a few weeks and want to find out what the best restaurants are. Well, this is the guy to tell
Oh,
you.
wow. Yeah. So, wow. So it really depends on what side of town you are. So another weird thing, if you don't know about Houston, is there's no zoning. So, and that's good and bad. And there's been debates on that, but there's no zoning in this town. So basically you can build a restaurant anywhere you want. And what that allows you to do is that we have local restaurants like in certain areas close to homes and in certain villages. So it really matters on what side of town you're going to go to as to what type of food you'll be served. So, well, I guess that'd be interesting to see what side of town you're going to go to, and I can probably give you some leads. And also, obviously, check out the YouTube channel because we have so many restaurants, and we kind of give the locations of where they are. You
Is
know,
there is
I
there
should
a
probably build
chain?
a map.
What's that?
I should probably build a map and put it
Yeah.
up there so people can have little pins on it. This is where you need to
Yes,
go.
you should. That would be great. Is there a chain restaurant that is just Texan that you recommend, like all over
Yeah,
Texas?
that's good. So a little bit, I'll give you a little story. Is I come from the IT field, so I worked in IT, basically working with Citrix and Microsoft for about 30 years. So every time buddies of mine would come in from California and Chicago and New York, they would always want to go to Papacitas. So if you've never heard of it, Papacitas is a large chain that's locally owned, and they have some of the best Tex-Mex here in the Houston area. I think they're in Dallas as well, but they also have seafood. They've got Italian food. They got Greek food. They're great. So just look for the Papa's chain, and you'll find them all over the city.
Cool. That's good. Have you been to New Mexico?
I have. I have. In fact, I just got out of Mexico because I was driving to see my daughter in Colorado Springs. So we went right through Clayton, New Mexico.
Okay. So
So
you've
just
had
kind of
some
crossed it.
real New Mexico Mexican food.
I have. So is it going to
Okay.
be green or red sauce?
Yes, that is the state question in New Mexico, red or green.
Mhm. And something you can't. It's in there's Tex-Mex and there's New Mexico food, and it's completely different. And I personally love, and you can't find it much around here, New Mexico Mexican food. And I think the best thing I've ever had was their like stuffed avocados. Have you ever? Or
Mm,
no, stuffed sopapillas.
yes,
Get
yes.
you can't get those in Houston. No one does it, and they're the best things ever.
But
So
you can't get them in Arizona either.
yeah, it's just in
It's
New
so
Mexico, I guess.
strange. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. New Mex or Arizona, New Mexico Arizona Mexican food is totally different than, not totally, but most of the time it's very different than New Mexico Mexican food.
I
And
think
North
it's
and South New
closer
Mexico is
to.
different.
I think Arizona's Mexican food is closer to California's. No cheese, am I right?
No, we have cheese and
No
stuff.
cheese?
It's just a little bit different flavors and
Hmm,
like you don't get like the green chili roux on a lot of stuff. It's more green chili meat sauce that you get. So
gotcha.
it's
We
very
won't talk
interesting.
about California because that's
Yeah.
just not really Mexican food. I
Totally
mean, no cheese, no sauce. Ah.
different. We have 811 Moon joining us. Hello, how are you doing? Good to see you here. And then David and Kathy Hyde. We just found your channel now, Mike, through Jesse. We will check it out further. Thank you guys. Thank you
Thank
guys
you,
for
guys.
checking it out. Some really great restaurant reviews and some really unique stuff that I haven't seen reviewed before. So that's pretty fun.
we're trying to do the local mom and pop scene. So just a little bit about us is that we're trying to do local restaurants. We're not doing Olive Garden,
Yeah.
Denny's. We're doing, people put blood, sweat, and tear into the restaurant. We want to talk to those people because they're interesting and they put a lot of time and effort, and this is their baby. And you can see the passion come through. And I know during 2020, a lot of restaurants went out of business because they just didn't have people come into them. And I remember we have it on film. A lot of them, I had to completely edit these things out, but we had owners literally crying on camera to us, telling us we're losing everything. So you saw that passion, and it was heartbreaking to see that. And that's it kind of drove me forward to do more of these videos. And I think that's what made them more successful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing to see the work that goes into owning a restaurant, to
Yeah.
see that day-to-day work. It is so much work. I've
Hmm.
I know just a little bit from having, my gluten-free bakery, just trying to make cookies, you know, not trying to make
Yeah.
a whole menu of stuff all the time, but I'm just amazed that people take on that kind of responsibility, and then do it and be successful at it. I think it's
Yeah.
amazing.
It is amazing. They really are. It opened my eyes too because I thought, anybody can run a restaurant. No, it's not the case. I mean, you are really there. There's one of the videos we did early on was Captain Brad's Coastal Kitchen, and you actually talk to her. I think the owner's name is Brittany, and you talk to her and you find out that her father passed away and he left her the restaurant, and she learned how to do it through him, and she loves her dad. And it was just neat to see that passion behind her drive her forward to make that restaurant successful. And I'll tell you what, that restaurant stood the time through 2020. She kept that thing going. People came in there. She's just really a special person. So it's just neat to meet these people.
One of the restaurant reviews that I did, Bravo and Bloom restaurant in Globe, he opened during the pandemic. He opened a restaurant during the pandemic and is so successful and just such an
Uh-huh.
amazing story. Like,
Yeah.
really?
Well, and you would, I know this sounds so heartless, but during COVID, you saw a bunch of restaurants close, but then you find out that they didn't put as much effort. You can see the ones that stood the time actually put a lot of effort, and they were creative and they adapted. So it's not that it's a bad thing. I mean, that's just how things work. But you see the ones that stood through COVID actually they did stand up, they adapted, they changed
Mhm.
with the times, and they persevered. So
Yeah.
I think the people that we have running restaurants today are survivors, and you can see that in their face.
One thing that I loved about, some of the changes that some of these restaurants made is the curbside delivery or actually delivery. We're in a very small town, and we just have had some people start up with Doordash,
Uh-huh.
and before that, there were some other private groups that were delivering and just restaurants that had their own delivery service, and that's pretty rare other than pizza for around here, and so that's been like a real big blessing to us, and, I hope that that continues, and, just for other stuff as well. We just had, like, grocery store delivery, and that's
Mhm.
amazing to
It
me because, like I said,
completely
small.
changed the environment. I mean, everything's completely changed. We see the lot more deliveries. We see, like I said, people delivering groceries to us. One of the videos, it's all these names come to my head. Is two guys, one pit barbecue, another mom and pop place. And during COVID, they didn't have a drive-through window, so he was telling me the story, and it's in the video, and you can see it. He got tired of this. And he says, "Okay, we're going to fix this." So he took a sledgehammer one weekend. Took a sledgehammer, went out there, and he literally busted a hole in the side of his restaurant. So and
Awesome.
then he put the glass in there and everything, so they could do carry out deliveries that way. And it was just amazing to because he did a great job. But he just took a sledgehammer and said, "Oh, I'll fix that."
Yeah, and that's kinda what you gotta do, you know?
Yeah.
If something's not working, take a sledgehammer to it.
Hey.
Let's go to the chat here. There's Brainstorm. Howdy, folks. Hi, Brainstorm. Thank you for being here. Thank you for loving our channels.
Hey,
And
brainstorm.
we really appreciate your support. Very nice. Well, so talk a little bit more about what you do for a living outside of YouTube. What is your main profession?
Yeah, so we started about 6 years ago. We started a media company, and again, we started out in the real estate side, and that's been very, very successful. Now we've got employees working with us directly, helping me capture these photos. My wife does a lot of the editing. She helps edit on the back end, and then probably about 2 years ago, because of YouTube, people started seeing our YouTube videos and are like, "Hey, we want a video like that too." So we've gone into doing wedding videography now. We're doing a lot of live commercials for people. So we're actually working currently on a clothing store line. So it's a lady who actually has her own clothing line. And we had the models, and I felt so professional in there because you got the hair dryers blowing in the hair and their hair flying in the wind, and all that stuff.
Fun.
So it was fun to do stuff like that. So the company's grown away from photography, and we're starting to do a ton of videography. And honestly, I can say a lot of that has to do with me just sitting down and starting a YouTube channel, because people started saying, "Oh, we like these videos. Can you do this for us as well?" And I never even thought of that. I started doing it because I thought it was fun, and it was just a way for me to be creative and tell a story. And little did I know, people are like, "Hey, we like this. Can you do one for us too?" So now we have the realtors. We're doing testimonial videos for our realtors. So it's just been crazy, crazy past 6 years. But we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that too.
That's
And
really cool.
I
That
would
would
say,
be really fun to do testimonial for realtors. That would be real fun.
yeah, a brainstorm made a good. It's a yeah. People have been very creative during this time, and you know, uh, coming out of IT world, I'm not a young chick here, not a young guy. So I was looking at myself thinking, who does photography? That's for those hippies that sit out there and take pictures of bears and fox and sell a bunch of photos. I'm teasing, but that's who you thought did all that stuff. And here I am doing the exact same thing. But like I said, it's just funny how life changes you and life evolves you.
Yeah. Yeah, if you let it. Yeah, it does. And if you don't let it, then things
Yeah,
don't go
yeah,
that well.
adapt. The
Yes, you must
adaptation.
adapt. Yeah. And so your channel, not only the, restaurant reviews and stuff, but you also review tech stuff too, and
Yeah, we're this year we kind of went away from that because I didn't, we weren't really buying a lot of new tech, but obviously we try to keep up with the latest camera gear. We try to keep the latest, microphones and things like that. So I was trying to I started doing that initially. I'm going to start doing that in 2022, where we're still going to do the restaurant reviews, but I'm going to try to do some more behind the scenes, showing what we do and how we do it, and possibly some tutorials on how I edit and pop these videos out.
that's cool. I was thinking about the equipment that I use for my other channel, the Catalina Treats Gluten-Free Bakery, and how I film what I'm cooking. And so if you ever want to know what that is, I'll give you all the links for that stuff because I have the camera over the top of the bowl that I'm using and stuff that's
Hmm.
adjustable instead of just filming straight on. So
The head down camera.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Now
see.
you can got some messages here.
Spent 2 winters ago just before COVID in Rio Rico, Jesse. There was There wasn't any pizza delivery, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, Rio Rico is kind of a small place too, yeah, and, I bet that they have some more delivery places now as well.
Yeah.
DoorDash is starting to become a really big thing, and I love it because it's so convenient for me, but I love it also because it's providing jobs for other people, so I think that that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of hit or miss with DoorDash because I know they take a lot of money from some of the local restaurants. Larger restaurants, it's
Mm.
easy to do it, but I think they take like a 30% cut. So
Wow,
I know, yeah. So small mom and pop restaurants don't have that kind of overhead. So what they've done here in Houston is small companies like even high schoolers and college kids have come up and they formed groups. They said, "Hey, we'll deliver your food for you."
that's
Outside,
cool.
and they charge them a little bit different, and they're trying to do this for the local, people like, Olive Garden, they can afford that, but these small restaurants, they just don't have that kind of cash, so they're getting help, which is kinda cool.
I was surprised to see DoorDash at Jack in the Box. I didn't go to Jack in the Box. No, I'm just kidding. I actually didn't go
Taco Bell, really? It's like,
I know, right? I was like, "Can you
DoorDash
be
or
a
Taco
little
Bell?
more convenient?"
Yeah. Well, isn't that funny? You know, we live in an we live in an age and a time where we just pick up our phone and boom, we get food delivered to our door.
Yeah.
And when we're worried because it took an extra 5 minutes to get here.
Yes.
I mean, my mind's blown.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, my theory is that eventually everything's gonna go to, like, living on the, Starship Enterprise like in Star Trek, and so that's just it'll be the replicator, in a couple more years, so just
That's
tell the
right.
computer what you want to eat, and it'll appear.
And by the way, folks, that was our first Star Trek reference, but now that she's dropped the gauntlet, I can get some more Star Trek.
The gates are open, right? So, going from real estate to restaurant reviews, how did that transition happen then?
So that was the whole point is I one day we went to a restaurant, and I think you can see that with the Andy's Kitchen was one of the first restaurants we did, and you'll see that on my YouTube channel. And we went there, and he's a friend of mine, and so we thought he was telling me all the issues they were having right at the beginning of COVID, and this is whenever COVID was, it's just someone's coughing in China. We didn't know what was coming our way, so nothing had been closed down yet. But he was getting worried about it. So, and he was losing, people were starting to stay home a little bit. So I said, well, hey, why don't we just put together a real quick video and you can share this on social media? He goes, okay. So we did that. And of course, he told his friends and they told their friends. And by the way, you find out that the restaurant community is tight and they all know each other. They know exactly what the other person's doing. And next thing I knew is people were calling us up saying, when are you going to do our restaurant?
That is
And we
so
started
awesome.
doing it. It just exploded on us. And that's how I ran into Nick Rama. So Nick Rama, if you don't know him, you'll see him in a ton of my videos, and he's pretty much my right hand guy. He's probably he's wonderful. So Nick, he runs a foodie group here in Houston called Nick's
Oh,
Local Eats. Has about 15,000 followers on Facebook, and everyone listens. Nick does his top 5, his top 10 lists, and he knows pretty much all the restaurant owners throughout the Houston area. He knows them by name. And so it was fun to actually hook up with him because he saw my videos on YouTube. And next thing I know, him and I kind of collabed together and we started doing a lot of these videos. And he's been getting me in the front door of some of these locations and such. And
that's
we're starting to spread
awesome.
out. Yeah, we're starting to spread out around Texas too. So you'll see that we're not just in Houston. We've gone to like Louis Mueller's Barbecue was the #1 rated barbecue joint in Texas Monthly Magazine, and we went out there and actually talked to Wayne Mueller. So it was really cool to actually go out and meet these people. And by the way, Stevie Ray Vaughan recorded their album in his barbecue joint, and here we are sitting amongst this barbecue joint. It's like this is so cool, and
Awesome.
actually meeting Wayne, it's just like a rock stars. It was cool.
That's neat. So, do you cook as well, or are you
Oh, you're wow. She's not
was
throwing
that was that
baseball.
a was that a
I
touchy
am
subject?
no. So this is funny because no, I do not cook. So my wife, in fact, I can smell it. She made potato soup tonight. Oh, it smells so good down there. But she's been telling me, she says, Mike, you need to get in front of the camera and we'll cook some of these meals. So we may actually do a segment, Mike can't cook. And she said, we'll start out slow, peanut butter and jelly, something like that. But I think we will probably see me getting behind the camera in the kitchen and cooking.
Fun.
I think my wife wants me to cook. That's what the deal is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
Yeah,
do
she saw how
burgers
you
on the
did with this.
grill. Yeah, I do burgers on the grill and things like that. But she's pretty much the cook around here. She's good.
Cool. That's great. Let's see. Yes, we saw that comment. Yeah, the watch hours are another thing that we have to look at, and I think that's the last comment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we're doing. The watch hours.
yeah. Yeah, it's a balancing act, isn't it?
It
Gotta get
is,
everything
and
that they require.
what I'm finding out on the watch hours, this is interesting. For a while there, is I did post a lot to Facebook, and on my YouTube channel. So I was trying to grab a Facebook audience on YouTube, and I found out that probably wasn't a good strategy because most of your Facebook users are not necessarily YouTube watchers.
Mhm.
And another interesting fact is that there's a lot of men on YouTube. If you look at the statistics, a lot of men watch YouTube, which is really strange. I thought there'd be a lot of women watching it too, but I was just listening to an article on this the other day, and a lot of Facebook, the users I was trying to appeal to come over to my YouTube channel, don't want anything to do with YouTube necessarily. So what I noticed was they would come over there and watch the first 5 seconds, and that was their attention span. I can't sit here and watch a 10-minute video, so they wouldn't. And it started hurting me a little bit because I'm seeing people drop off. So then I started saying, okay, I'm not going to go after the Facebook crowd. I'm just going to go after and just grow the channel organically. And I think it really showed up in the watch hours. You can see them changing, where the YouTube algorithm now is basically doing its thing and getting my videos in front of the people it needs to be in front of.
Very interesting. I didn't know that that was the geographic. I would think that it would be women
Maybe a
too.
Houston thing, I don't know, but, people here to watch, and I've talked to even my wife, I've talked to several ladies, even realtors, "Do you go on YouTube?" "Nope, just Facebook, Instagram." I'm like, "Oh." So what they hate is you post a YouTube link onto their Facebook page, and they go, "Well, that leaves Facebook. I don't wanna do that. That opens another app." So they don't click on it. So
Huh.
I kind of stopped pushing myself in that direction. That could be a Houston thing, I don't know. But, check up on that and see what you think.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to. So do you plan to extend to other cities go out of Houston and other states as well, or do you wanna stay around Texas?
I think we're gonna start up and just kinda do more Texas. You'll probably see us doing more road trips to, like, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas. Of course, everything in Houston or everything in Texas is, like, 250 miles apart. So we'll probably do some weekend trips to these locations, but we've thought about this. There's a lot of iconic places you can go to in Texas and try out some of their different dishes. So we'll probably start doing that, soon. And whether we've been offered to go to different cities. We've had some people actually say, "Hey, I own this restaurant in St. Louis. Would you want to go up there and do that?" So we might down the road. We haven't got that far yet.
That's
But
cool.
oh, the funny part, I'll just stop real quick. But I need to have, I didn't send you the picture. I should have. So Cypress Magazine, Cypress is a community just northwest of Houston. It's kind of like a little suburb, and Cypress Magazine called me the Guy Fieri of Cyprus, and it was
That's
a joke.
awesome.
But the best part is they put the white hair on me with the spikes in Photoshop, and that was the album cover of the magazine. And they
Cool.
were recognizing that. So now the people are teasing me with that title, and we're getting ready. One of our friends, Andy's Burgers, he's opening a brand new restaurant, and he has a 65 and a half convertible Mustang. So he wants me to drive in the Mustang at the beginning of the video, and he wants me to do my hair like Guy Fieri. So
That would be
we
so
will
fun.
see. I haven't done this yet. I told him I got to get the bowling shirt on and
Yeah.
everything. I'm gonna get sued. Put some tats on me.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
My wife's like, "Mm."
That's kind of, what I was thinking about was, when I started my channel is I wanted to do the same thing, but for healers, because 'cause I'm a psychic medium, so I'm interviewing other healers and energy workers and stuff, and I was like, "I want it to be like diners, drive-ins, and dives, but for those people." And so
Oh,
that's
that's
really funny that
funny.
you mentioned that. That's
That's
cool.
funny. You gotta do your hair. Gotta do the
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, gotta have the hair. So, have you ever done I've been thinking about trying this for my channel. Have you ever done like a remote kind of, review of a restaurant where you don't actually go there, but you get the people to take videos of their stuff and send it to you and put it together that way where like you interview on Zoom?
Yeah, that's actually a great, question because we have talked about this. So I don't know if you've seen the tagline, "Dang, that's good."
Mhm.
So the whole thing started because I said "dang" one time, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's so funny." And so we came up with this. So we've actually thought about having our like the people on our YouTube channel take their cell phone, go out there and record a video of them eating something that they saw us eat or something new at the restaurant, and record their family, their little kids saying, "Dang, that's good." And so it'd be a little mini review that we'd stick into our videos. We haven't got this off the ground yet, but it would be really easy to do because they could send their video into us and we'll include them into the YouTube videos. So we haven't done that yet on with remote, but I think that's something you'll probably see in 2022 as we get that kind of kicked off.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
it would be fun to get other people involved, but also to see what they say.
Exactly. And maybe they ate something we didn't try. What's so funny is the restaurants bring out multiple dishes, and sometimes they may not have brought something out, and maybe the little kid could try something from the kids menu. So who knows? It'll
Yeah,
be fun.
yeah. That's like the greatest part, though, isn't it? When they start bringing out all the food. You're like,
Sometimes it's like we're like Nick and I will say, "Hey, we're going to do about 5 dishes," and
yeah,
they bring out 15. And we're like, "Oh!" So sometimes, and now the funny thing, I'm trying to keep my weight off. So how I do that is I'm not. We're literally taking a bite of each item, and I
yeah,
feel so wasteful because there's 15 dishes out there, and of course in Texas and everywhere else, the sauce is as big as my head, and it's like I can't eat all this. So we're trying to definitely slow it down and how many bites we'll take, and we tell them that up front so they know.
yeah, yeah. But you still get a really good perspective on stuff, huh? Just with that one bite, you can really tell what you're getting.
You really can. It's so funny because you can see in the past videos, I didn't really know how to explain the flavors. And Nick's so eloquent. Oh, it tastes like basil and kagami and all these French foo-foo words. I'm like, yeah, it just tastes good. So I've learned his language a little better.
So what else do you see for 2022 for your YouTube channel?
So I would really like to, I have other passions besides, I mean, the food industry I've really grown fond of it. I love the people in the industry, and I do have a passion for that, but I really love creating videos. I'm a photographer and videographer at heart. I love gadgets and gears. I mean, look at this studio. It's just crazy. So I got all these lights around me, and I like playing with this type of gears, and I have a passion for drones. So you'll see a lot of my YouTube videos have drone footage as well that we use. So you'll probably see more reviewing the gear, my hints and tips on how I use this gear built into the channel as well. And I know it's a little bit different than food because most people are coming to the video to watch these food reviews, and also they're going to see me doing a drone review. But I think it's kind of a niche that's a little bit different, especially whenever it comes to food photography. So I may try to combine that with some of these gears I'm using with food photography and such, because people
Yeah.
are interested in that. Kind of keeps it kind of a niche. So you'll probably see more of that with my channel in 2022.
That's one thing that I wanted to ask you. That one of the drone videos that you made was so amazing, and I need that in my life. We have a couple of drones, but they're like the really cheap little ones,
Right.
and they're not easy to fly. And I've heard that the more expensive ones are a lot easier to use.
Hmm.
And so I'm wondering what drone I should ask Santa Claus to bring me.
Oh, wow. So are you looking to do this on just YouTube? Was it mainly for your YouTube videos or just for your fun?
Mainly for my YouTube videos, and, if there's I teach a media class, so if there's anyone in my media class that wants to use it too, to be able to show them how to use it as well. I don't know if you saw my video for the Chiricahua, Dark Sky Park. That
No, I will watch that. No, I haven't seen it.
It's amazing mountain range, and if I
Beautiful.
could have gotten some footage with a drone, that would have been just so perfect. And I'm about to do another video, here in my local area that's kind of like, out in ranch country, and to be able
Oh,
to get that footage would be fantastic. And, there was a guy that did some video footage for me for my Meg's Place video. He did such an amazing job, and I just love how that turns out. And, but if I go far afield, he's not always available, so I would like to learn how to do it myself, but I know that it's not always easy because 'cause I've tried to fly them myself.
yeah. No, I would highly recommend getting a lot of like what they call the DJI Mavic Mini. It's a smaller drone. They're not as expensive. So if you do crash it, you're not out a lot of money, and you're probably your first drone. You will crash it at least once, but that's a sad thing. But they're still about $200 or so for the small ones. The bigger ones can run about 1,500. I just picked up a Mavic 3, which is about a $4,000 drone. And yeah, when you put those in the air, sometimes you're like, I hope this comes
Yeah,
back.
that's what I need. I need one with a homing device.
Yeah, yeah. So they can get now. I've been flying drones for 7 years, so they're kind of like an extension to what I do. So I'm used to them. But when you first start flying drones, they can be a little bit intimidating. But once you get used to it, they open up. I mean, the sky's the limit. Pardon
Mhm.
the pun, but it's true.
That is very punny. Yeah. Yeah, that one video that you made where you were going around, I think it was like a nature preserve kind of area,
Yeah.
the white birdie there. That is so
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Was
That's actually the neighborhood I live in. That's right
okay,
here with the nature preserve right here. So we have
and
herons, we have alligators, the works.
that was a GoPro, right? That you were
Mhm.
using?
Yes. So at the time, I
So
know now you want one.
yes, I
But
do. I really, really do.
I started out using GoPros. That was how I started doing my channels, and I since have elevated up to different cameras. You started using some of the cameras we use to shoot homes with, and just got better and better cameras along the way. And obviously too, better microphones. So you want to have good audio in the YouTube videos. So
Mhm.
those are some of the things I really focused on.
So is there the newer GoPros that, can do both the drone and, like, underwater type stuff and not I mean, not flying, but
Yeah, the GoPros are great, but they can't fly. They used to have a GoPro Karma, which was a drone, but they had so many issues with them that they recalled them, and they
Oh,
haven't made a new one since. Yeah, so DJI is probably the leading company. Another company is called Autel, Autel. They make good drones as well.
okay. Alright. I'll check that out and start writing my letter to Santa Claus. So so who are some of the other YouTubers that you follow?
Oh, wow, that's a good one. So I love Peter McKinnon. I don't know if you've watched any of his videos. Peter
Mm-mm.
McKinnon is he's a fantastic photographer. He kind of does the stuff I would love to do. He does, he reviews photography, reviews drones, things like that. But he's got over 5 million followers on YouTube now, and he's got a whole slew of videos. So he's been the guy I kind of watch a lot with. Another one is Matti Hapoya. He's from Finland. Love him. He's got some great stuff out there. But they're all landscape photographers. So you see where my passion is. I love landscape photography.
So are there any other restaurant reviewers that you follow?
It's weird. I've been looking for some really good ones like around Texas, and I don't see a lot of people doing what I'm doing anymore. I don't know if it's not a market people want to do, but I go and look for videos and they're like 2 and 3 years old. I think a lot of it has to do with COVID. That
Mhm.
they thought the restaurant industries were shutting down. So maybe I started mine right in time. So
Yeah,
all my content's fresh. So maybe I don't know. We just don't see that many out there. So no, I really don't follow any because I don't see anybody doing that in Texas as much. There are a few out there, but the content just looks a little bit different than what I would want.
interesting. Yeah, there's some amazing, amazing channels, aren't there?
There
Just
are.
so many different
That's
things that YouTube has just grown and, you can find anything, anything on
You
YouTube.
really can. It's amazing what you can find.
Yeah,
So
it's
I've been really happy to be on the platform, and don't look like I'll be changing anytime soon. I like what I'm doing with YouTube, and you'll probably see me doing this for the next 5 years or more.
that's awesome. So I have to ask, what's the best thing that you've tried from any restaurant that you can't wait to go back and get more of?
Oh, wow. So, wow, I think it'd be that Louis Mueller's barbecue. That beef rib was the best thing I've ever had. I know it's not good for me, but man, was it good. So it was beef rib about as big as my head. It was nice, but $35 for that beef rib. Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah,
But it
wow.
was so good. It's one of those things where you go and check out barbecue and you find out you haven't been eating the right barbecue until you go to a really good barbecue joint. I mean, you just like, okay, now this is what dreams are made of.
Cool. How did you like the boba tea? I've never tried that before.
Love it. So
Really?
those 2 guys are my best friends now, those that run that place. So I didn't think I'd like it either, but I my wife and I probably visit that shop the most because 'cause they're fairly close by. We go there all the time and get their chai lattes, we get their coffee drinks, and they have bursting boba that's like coffee flavored, and they have jelly coffee flavored boba. It's so good, and it really is different. I just have grown very fond of it.
And it's tapioca, right? It's
Yeah.
taro,
Well,
yeah.
the original is tapioca, the traditional, but then they have jellies. They've got bursting boba. They've got fruit flavored, all different things. So they kind of look like the little balls.
Yeah, that's interesting to me because that's one of the ingredients that I use in my gluten-free baking is tapioca that makes stuff bind together, and so
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
like, hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to try it. It's really something we've grown fond of. My wife loves it, and she didn't.
Cool.
I didn't think she would, and she's really grown fond of it. And so we go there a lot to get that. I think she loves that chai latte.
We don't have one of those, places here locally, and so I'll have to see if I can find one in Tucson or Phoenix
There
and
you
try
go.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, let me
Cool.
know what you think.
Yeah. So what's your favorite dessert that you've tried?
Ooh, yeah, brainstorm loves boba. The favorite dessert would been there was, someone who made a bread pudding cheesecake. That's all I gotta say. Bread pudding cheesecake, and then there's another one who made a banana pudding cheesecake. Unbelievable, and so they even had the little marshmallows in it with the, vanilla wafers in the cheesecake. It was to die for. And
Wow, that
something
sounds
well, I don't
really
think
good.
yeah,
I don't think I've
cheesecake.
ever had banana cheesecake.
Mm-mm, have neither. The video's not out yet. It's Mimsy's Barbecue, another famous barbecue joint, and, she said that all barbecue joints have banana pudding in them, and she's actually a chef. She goes, "I don't wanna do banana pudding," so she made a cheesecake banana pudding, and it's won awards. It's amazing.
That sounds really
Yeah.
cool.
It was good.
That's innovative.
Yeah, yep.
Cool. Um, One thing that I wanted to ask you tech review-wise is I desperately need a gimbal that will fit my very large Samsung Galaxy Note 10. I've
Mhm.
I've had a couple and they don't fit my phone, so is there a good one that you could recommend for that?
I think DJI has a really good one. I think it's called the can't remember the name of it. I'll have to send you a link, but they have a brand new one that came out. It's like 100 and I think it's 150 bucks, but it's a really good one and it fits all phones now. So I think it's called the DJI On. I think it's the DJI ON2.
Do you use that? Do you use gimbals in your videos? Do you use that a lot?
We
Still?
do, but we don't use our cell phones though. We actually use a camera, but same thing. We do put the cameras on a gimbal. Typically, sometimes we don't. Usually in restaurants is a little tight, so it's hard to get the gimbal in there. So I will do handheld, but I'll slow
Yeah.
my shutter frames down to about 60 seconds so I can slow the footage down. It makes it a little more
Hmm.
steady.
Interesting. I don't know if I could do that with my cell phone or not. I don't know if they
Just
have that
get the
capability.
slow-mo footage. It makes things look smoother in slow-mo. So I do a lot of shots for the B-roll that you see on our videos. A lot of that is shot in 60 frames per second. But the videos are recorded at 24 frames per second. It gives you that motion blur. Looks more cinematographic.
There are a lot of people that ask, what's the best camera to start out with? What would you recommend?
the best one you have on you.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
got a cell phone, use it. So there's not really, I mean, obviously, as your YouTube channel grows and you progress, I think you do. Obviously, it's like, putting the right tools into your hands. But I started out using GoPros and my cell phone, and now I'm using Sony A7R4s, Sony ZV-1s, lights, and everything else. But a lot of that was just because I learned and I knew how to use it. So that's the big thing.
I'm so comfortable using my cell phone. I don't know if I could get used to
Hmm.
having something else, I've have like a little camcorder that I've used a couple of times, but
Yep.
I tend to just go back to the ease
Well,
of my phone.
and as phones are getting more and more intelligent, so they're doing some really good things with that computational photography. You're seeing the motion blur behind you and all this stuff, and they're still getting there, but nothing quite beats a big lens to get that really sharp picture. And phones will always have a problem with that really sharp tight shot for now. Eventually I think they'll catch up, but right now they're just not there. But and all that said, I use this quite a bit for B-roll, time lapse, things like that. So I use my cell phone still in some of the shots. I just also got a crack on the back too.
Uh-oh. Well, the Samsung, the Galaxy Note 10, it's supposed to have like a stabilizer thing on there too, and I don't know if I'm using it right to get that stable, or if it has more capacity than what I'm utilizing. So
Yeah,
it's
I
something.
don't know much about that, but I know they got stabilization built into them. But I think they're actually pretty darn good. Oh, what
Yeah.
maple?
What do we say?
Oh, the
Cheesecake.
cheesecake. Yes,
It
you
sounds
do
really
want to try that.
interesting.
Yeah, we'll have a video coming out shortly. Well, you'll laugh, but I was just talking to Nick a minute ago, and we have 8 videos. Get my fingers here. We have 8 videos coming out that are in the can, waiting to be released. So right now, we literally are trying to release one a week. I'm going to try the up the channel to do 2 a week here shortly. But people ask us, when's the next video going to come out? And it's like whenever it comes out,
Mhm.
about 7
Yes.
weeks. Oops, we had a power flicker.
Uh,
Oops.
are you there?
Yeah, do you see me? If
Yep.
my camera goes out, it's because we have a power flicker.
Yep.
Ugh.
You're here.
Yeah, if anything goes bad, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I've had that happen before too on a live where it just
Yeah,
shut us down. So it can happen.
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It looks like we're having a lightning storm here, so I don't know if it.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
we had another power flicker.
okay.
I don't know.
Well,
So we might want to close it down.
I'll try to ask you a couple more questions really quick. One piece of
Yeah,
equipment that you can't record without besides the camera, you know?
I can't record microphones. I mean, honestly, we use a lot of mics. I'll show you what we use. Here's my bag of tricks. And I use a lot. I think good audio is key to a good video.
Yeah, me too.
And these are the best things I ever purchased. These go everywhere with me. These are those Rode wireless mics.
I saw that you put that on somebody's shirt in one of the videos, didn't you?
Yep. So I just pin it on my shirt and go to town. Beautiful audio off these things. So they're fantastic.
That
So
would be
these
so
are,
nice.
yeah, they're great. And there's 3 in here, so I can wire up 3 people, put it on my camera, and good to go. These are self-rechargeable. They're fantastic.
So
So this is
do they have a cord, or are they USB? Or I mean,
I have a
Bluetooth?
cord that plugs into your camera. And then on the side here, they've got a USB-C. I'm trying to get it here. USB-C slot. Can't see it.
Yeah.
Kind of there. So that then you can actually record with these. So they're fantastic. And these work on iPhones too, and Android devices. You can plug them
Cool.
in and go. It's nice because the person can be walking clear across the restaurant, and you can still hear them as they're talking, so you can still get some footage. We've had people go into the bathrooms with them on still. Yes, that has happened. We've had people say some really bad language in the kitchen behind us.
It's a good thing you can edit, right?
Yes, you in it. So, yeah, they go a long distance.
But you still have the cord? with them then, or they can
No,
just
they're
go
completely
away?
wireless. They're completely
Oh,
wireless.
okay, okay. That would be
Yeah,
so good because I sometimes I forget, like, I'm wearing that cord, with my lapel mic, and so
yeah. I mean, you can actually I don't have it with me. You can put it on a lapel.
oh, bye, Mike. I think that he's gone. We'll see if he can try to get back on here. Sorry about that. Um, add to stream. Are you back? You went away?
Can you hear me at all?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to switch it over. Hold on. I may be able to. I'm on battery here. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. There, can you see me?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay, I'm on battery. So it's a different camera though. My other camera shorted out or lost. Yeah, we're having lightning here. So this is a
Yeah.
different camera. You can tell the
Oh,
difference, I'm sure.
yeah, a little bit different, but not
Yeah,
bad. Still pretty good.
not bad. But no, I would
Cool,
highly
okay.
recommend. How's the audio sound? Does it still sound okay?
A little bit different, but it's not bad at all. It's still
Yeah.
pretty good. Cool.
Yeah, we had a lightning
Yeah,
strike and
so
it took that out. I'll
yeah.
see if I can't fix that. Well, I guess we're okay. I'll fix it later.
Yeah,
Sorry, folks.
we're just a couple minutes from being done, so is there anything else besides those microphones that you really recommend? I think that those are great. I'm surprised at how many people record without microphones actually,
Mhm.
really want that crisp audio, I think. And especially my husband's deaf. My husband was born deaf and he wears hearing aids and he's always reading the captioning. And if you don't have good quality microphone, it's not going to pick up the right words for your captioning. And then you can always go in and fix your captioning. But it's really
That's
helpful
right.
to have good, clear audio.
No, that's exactly right. So the audio is key. I think I use a lot of lighting too. I'm a huge lighting fanatic. You can kind of tell I'm stupid crazy about lights. And so I think they just set kind of a mood behind you. So we don't really use those in studio, but sometimes we do, depending on if I'm sorry, we don't use a lot of lighting in some of the restaurants, but sometimes the restaurant's a little bit dark, and we
Hmm.
will put some lights on their face to light them up. You'll see that in some of our newer videos. So I do carry lights with me always, just in case.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have my salt lamp back there, my
Oh, I
salt lamp
see it.
with lighting.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
that's my
I
favorite.
got my I don't know if you can see it, but I don't think you can't see my lava lamp.
Yeah, no, I can't see your lava lamp. I think I see the
Yeah,
red glow behind you,
it
but
there it
that's
is.
cool. There it is. Oh, it's blue, okay, that's
And I
what's putting
got
out the
my
blue light.
Mike McCurdy. My wife bought all this stuff. She decorated my studio behind me.
That's
So,
nice, very nice. So, great great way to go into 2022 with 1,000 subscribers. I'm very happy for you.
thank you so
Like I said, I
much.
think it's well deserved. I think you
I
guys
thank
are
you so
putting out
much.
good quality videos and doing some really good recommendations for people that it's gonna be helpful for. I think it's a win-win thing. It's good for people to know what's out there and what's available, and it's also good for the restaurant owners to get that advertising. So good
Yeah,
job. Well done.
I never thought of that, and, what I'm finding out is these types of videos, they sit around on YouTube a long time. Reviews of, like, the latest iPhone 13 or the latest Galaxy, those come and go,
Mhm.
and they lose, I guess, their power after a while because, their technology evolves so quickly. Whereas a restaurant is pretty much the same a year or two, and they may have new menu items, and that's something we're going to be doing this year as well. I forgot to say we're going to be revisiting some of these restaurants and doing like updates on them. So
Cool.
if I do 5 restaurants in one video, showing new menu items and things like that. So it'd
That's a
be
really good idea.
yeah. And the biggest secret is a lot of these restaurant owners have secret menu items. So we're going to be asking them to tell us what those secret menu items, and you'll only find them on Dang That's Good.
That's that's fun.
Yeah, yes, that's the Dang That's Good special.
One of the things that you reviewed that kinda stuck out to me was the fried pickle cheeseburger.
Oh, that was 5/8 Cafe.
That
That was
sounds
the
really
knockoff.
good.
Yeah, that was unexpected too, because I didn't at first. I was like, "Fried pickle burger?" And, that was so good. His and that's I don't know if you've seen that video. That's a rock climbing gym that
Mhm.
has a chef in it, that actually makes these dishes, and it's so good. And you can just go in there, sit down, and look at people climbing rocks around you and eat your pickled burger.
I love that. I love when restaurants are like that, like something
Mhm,
totally unexpected.
really is
So,
fun.
if you come to Arizona, I'll take you to Tucson where there's the restaurant that's in a working garage, and we can
Oh, now
do a Cooley view.
that's cool.
It
Okay.
is. It is. It's near the, racetrack and, stuff down in Tucson, so it's a it's a neat restaurant.
That's really cool, in a garage, a working garage. Hmm,
Mhm. It's like the garage is below you, so they have, like,
right.
these windows and stuff where you can look down into the garage, and, yeah, it's all car themes and racing stuff, and it's pretty neat, so
We have a video kind of on this. We got a video coming up of a brewery, and he's an old doctor living out in Taylor, Texas, a little town of, I'm not kidding you, the town has 250 people in it. And he's a doctor, retired doctor, built this little farm out there, and he's got this red barn out in the middle of nowhere, Texas. And we drive out there, and he opens it up, and he has over $5 million worth of brewery equipment in there. It looks like, and that it was his retirement money that he spent, and he built a brewery in this barn out in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and he's killing it,
how
bottling
fun.
beer, and he's putting it in cans and everything and selling this beer. And he has he has a can of beer called Sex with a Ghost. And not kidding you, I kind of went, what? And it's an 80 IPA beer, really high end. If you don't like IPAs, you won't like it at all. But 80 IPA is huge. lot
Interesting.
lot of flavors, yeah. So he's a fun guy. So you'll see that video coming up in about 2 weeks.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, that's neat. So is there any, restaurant that you haven't interviewed that you want to get to that you're like it's a dream kind of a
There's
video?
several, yeah. Houston's so known for different restaurants, so there's actually several. One is probably Pele Pele. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's the chef is from Israel, and he's world known for being a chef. And he's actually from South Africa, but he's born in Israel, lived in South Africa. So he
Mm.
brought over this restaurant idea. So super nice guy. We're wanting to do his restaurant, and we've talked to him, but he gave us a condition, and that condition is he wants to be on our videos. And he is a chef, world class known, wants to come with us in some of our videos to the restaurants and sample the food. And I told him
Cool.
we can't be negative here. You can't
Yeah.
go cut down the competition. And he said he wouldn't. So we'll probably see him coming along with us. So probably this year I'll get to do Pele Pele as well.
Fun. I've wanted to try, Russian food. I've never gotten
Never
a
either.
chance. Yeah, it's not common in the Southwest, so
No, and that's not. I think the only thing I've ever had the weirdest food, not the weirdest, the most unique was Swedish. We went to there's a Swedish restaurant here who actually served authentic Swedish meatballs and Swedish type food. And I never had that before. It's very unique, very rich, but it was very
Mm,
unique food. And I never had Swedish, the whole restaurant, that's all they did was serve Swedish food. So
interesting.
that was different.
That'd be
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah, and then of course in Texas, the Tex-Mex is different as you go further south. You get
Mhm.
more towards the border, and you start getting into your sweetbreads. You know what sweetbread is?
Yes.
Yes. So you start getting in, and you don't have that here in Houston. But as you go down towards the El Paso, McKinnon area, you
Uh-huh.
start getting more of those types of dishes, more authentic Mexican. So it's really
Interesting.
interesting through Texas what you'll find.
Well, I've got, about half of a recorded, video done for a steakhouse that makes Texas Twinkies. Are those actually Texan or
Are those jalapenos?
jalapenos that are stuffed with cream cheese and brisket and then wrapped in bacon?
That is a Texas thing. That is a Texas thing, yeah. They got those, and I've heard them called poppers too, Texas poppers.
Yeah, we've had poppers that are just like cheddar cheese and
Yeah.
then, jalapenos wrapped but they didn't have the brisket in them, which is really
Yeah,
fantastic.
I think you know what Wagyu beef is? You've heard of Wagyu? It's
Uh-uh.
it's a grass-fed beef that's really big here in Texas, and probably the most unique, very Texas thing now. You're gonna laugh. It's Wagyu beef, grass-fed beef raviolis. And they actually will take the ravioli and they'll put Gouda cheese on top of it, and they'll put the brisket Wagyu beef. I'm hungry now. In
I
with
know,
the
that sounds
ravioli.
great.
It is so good. I never had anything like it. I was like, dang, that's good.
Cool. I love finding those kinds of things. It's awesome.
That's like, who thought of this?
Well, I'm so grateful for you being on here, and thank you for joining us, and, just I'm very happy for you. Congratulations,
Thank
and
you.
wait to see what you come out with in 2022. So it's gonna be wonderful.
I'm excited, and I can't, all of you YouTubers out there that are watching this, I can't thank you guys enough. I've seen a lot of support today from people I didn't really know, and I just seen the YouTube community is just fantastic, and so it's
Yes.
just nice to meet everybody. And I want to do some videos with you guys in the future. So keep me on your charts, and I definitely will be following your channels as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, this, YouTube is a whole different world, isn't it? I just love it. I'm so grateful for this in my life, and so fascinating to meet someone like you that, from across the country that
Yeah.
wouldn't have the opportunity any other way, so
Yeah,
that's
you and I have
awesome.
been talking for a while here, and I feel like I've known you all my life, so
Yes,
it's
exactly.
really cool. We
Yep,
feel each other.
yep.
We're YouTubers.
Well, thank you, and, again, congratulations on reaching that 1,000 mark. That's fantastic.
I know a lot of people don't realize that's a big mark for people in the
It's
YouTube
big.
world, so it just feels good to get that off your
Yeah,
shoulders. Yeah.
yep.
Well, you're very welcome, and, like I said, we'll get you there next.
Thank you. That would be wonderful. Yeah, they said great recovery on losing power, so
Oh,
that was a
I
really good
know. So
recovery.
I lost my main camera. That's the problem. So my laptop went on battery. So luckily, I'm okay for now. So
Yeah, perfect. Like nothing ever happened, huh?
yeah, I'm great.
Thank you all for joining us, and you guys have a good night, and, hopefully we'll be back here pretty soon, and look for more videos.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.